what's up, players? WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. And when I want my Cardinal news, one Cardinal, one club, and one beer, I listen to Vince and Jason. And they know they better do right, or it's either one-on-one with The Undertaker.
Welcome to episode 144. I believe it's 144.
Maybe 145. I don't know. We're in there somewhere, Vince.
Yeah, we're getting close to 150, which is kind of a pretty cool benchmark. That's almost 3 years. That's freaking awesome. But anyway, welcome. I am fresh back from Memphis to watch the Memphis Redbirds. I had a great weekend, and I'm going to get into all that pretty soon. But let's get some housekeeping done. Those of you who are watching on the YouTube channel, please subscribe so that you can have our shows as soon as they are posted. Please like us on Facebook. If you want to contact us in any way, shape, or form, leave a comment on one of our platforms, direct message us, or you can simply use the old-fashioned email, onecard1cup1beer@gmail.com. You can support us through Patreon. You just go to patreon.com and in the search bar, type one Cardinal, one Cub, and one beer, and you will find us. And your support is greatly appreciated. JJ, how are you doing?
Vince, always doing good, especially during the baseball season. I tell you what, I love getting on here and talking baseball with you and the fine folks that watch us and listen to us. I appreciate you guys so much. But I get blessings all the time. We had a veteran, and a lot of the veterans who come into the VA listen to us, or watch us every once in a while, and they'll say, "Oh, I saw the episode. This and this happened." But a guy came in, and his grandfather was Smokey Burgess, the catcher who caught for the Cubs, and he said, "I want something." And I thought JJ would like this, so. The flag back here, I already had one of those. When I opened it, I didn't know it would be the exact one, but that flag right there. And he was very good friends with Joe Cunningham. And Joe Cunningham evidently had a stack of these. They're not actual cards. They're sort of copies of cards. And he signed them for folks. He'd go to schools and talk about the Cardinals and stay in school and all that with the kids. And so he brought me an autographed card of a replica of a 1967 Joe Cunningham card. I thought that was so cool. So I got that this week. Went bargain hunting to the antique stores. I got some cool stuff. And Vince, one thing I'm going to show you, I got the antique store. Hang on here. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh my gosh, he's wearing one.
I got me a Cub hat right there.
So the show is now 0 Cardinals, 2 Cubs, and 1 beer.
I'm JJ Russell. There's Rick and Paul and cousin JJ right there. That's about, there we go. And I love the Russells. But I got that, and it's a 3930. And I don't think it's ever been worn, and it's my size. And it was $10. And I was like, you know what? I want to get a hat of every team. I'm getting the Cub hat, and I'll wear it this week in honor of you and the Cubs. And I went to a box, and Vince, I found this, and it's actually autographed 1979 St. Louis Football Cardinals team picture, and John Zook signed it right there. I was in probably 8th grade, and I had him sign a bunch of autographs for my friends. John Zook was a defensive end, and my actual name is John Jackson, and a friend of mine's dad was John. He goes, "Oh, I want that." I said, "Here, you can have it." So I kept the one that was signed to Boogie. I have the one, so I kept the one signed to Boogie. But in that team picture is Roy Green, Otis Anderson, Otis Anderson, King Green, Roger Worley, a Hall of Famer. Let's see, Jim Hart. Bud Wilkerson was the coach. He was a huge college coach. Came in to coach the Big Red for a little while. Let's see.
He stood on the sidelines.
Do what now?
I said, he stood on the sidelines. He was a terrible NFL coach.
Yes, he didn't have it, but he was a good man. He was a very nice fella, but not the greatest NFL coach. And Dan Deerdorf is in there. And anyway, Steve Little, the kicker from Arkansas, who wasn't a great pro, but was an incredible college play. But anyway, that's an artifact from the old Big Red football team, and that's actually Old Bush Stadium right there where they play their home games. So
Yeah.
anyway, I thought that was cool. So Vince, that's pretty much my weekend. Bargain hunting, having a good time, watching the just baseball. Got this. I watched the Kerry Wood game, the 20 strikeout game, and they had like a little documentary about it. And then I watched the Sandberg game. So I got my Cub fill this weekend. I saw those two historical things that took me back because I remember both of them like it was yesterday. So that's what I did this weekend.
All right, very good. Well, I went to Springfield. Me and Kathy went to Springfield to visit our daughter Rebecca and her boyfriend Brendan, who was just on last week. And so we spent 3 days in Springfield. Went to a Springfield Redbirds game and ate some good food. We did the tour of Sun Records, which was really cool. We went to the Civil Rights Museum, which was just fascinating. That was that's kind of like a spiritual experience.
I agree.
That was awesome. And but we did find time to do a little shopping, and I'll show you a few of the things that I got.
Woohoo!
First of all, I've wanted this. I've seen it in terrible shape of places, but this one's in really good shape, and I got it for $6. I got Three Dog Night Hard Labor. I'll turn it right side up. Three Dog Night Hard Labor.
I've never seen that front cover, Vince. I've never seen that.
Oh, really? The baby having the baby, so they put the Band-Aid over it.
Yes.
It's a pun. Hard labor. Ha ha ha. This was their last album of original music. I mean, they put in compilations and stuff like that. But what I really like about this, I had this when I was a kid, is when you open it, it has like a folder, like a medical folder. Let's see if I can open it here. And inside it's got like fake medical stuff, but it's all music related too. And then on the other side of it, you have the band. And
Yes.
If I had a clear album sleeve, you would see the I think it's ABC put this out. And then the back has the carousel because the big hit off of this was The Show Must Go On, which was, I think, was that Leo Sayer? Anyway, but anyway, it's in great shape. I've listened to it twice already, and I had forgotten that it starts with the Calliope music, and then it goes straight into I think Sure as I'm Sitting Here, yeah. And in between songs, you can hear very faintly the Calliope music, and then the last song is The Show Must Go On. It's really cool. So I was very happy with that.
Very cool, Vince.
Put it in my collection. Another thing that I got was we were at a bookstore and got this, The Phenomena, Rick Ankiel. I've never read this, and so
Haven't either.
I'm going to read this one. When I get done, you can read it too.
Oh, thank you.
There's nothing in here to color, which is disappointing for me in my old age, but
I like the pop-up books.
Yes. And we were in a toy store, and they had some really cool stuff. And I go to this little bin that's just got crap in it for like 50 cents, not thinking I would find anything. I found Greg Maddux, this little Greg Maddux here. And he's standing there like he's in the outfield catching a fly ball. I don't know why, because this certainly isn't his pitching motion.
Yes.
But I thought that was kind of cool. And I also got this package of 1996 from Topps Major League Baseball bubblegum cards. And there's only 5 cards in here, but it has a Bazooka Joe gum in here. So I'm actually going to open this today. That's going to be really cool. But
Yes.
JJ, and we went to the game, and it was Memphis Red Sox night, and the Memphis Red Sox were the Negro League teams of Memphis.
Okay.
Josh Gibson played there for a spell. They won one championship, and for the whole game, they were called the Memphis Red Sox, not the Memphis Redbirds, and they all had the jerseys.
I love
And
it.
we got there about 45 minutes early to get our jersey, and they gave out 1,000. There was probably about 800 people in the stands, so it was not well attended. I don't know why. The weather was beautiful.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing about this is it was they have Fiesta Friday, so you get 2 street tacos for $5. You can have a margarita. They had 3 flavors of margarita. They had lime, strawberry, and raspberry, maybe. I don't remember the third one. But they had 3 different flavors of margaritas, $5 for a margarita. Now, they had about the strength of rubbing alcohol. I mean, there wasn't, I had 2 of them and I didn't feel anything. I was like, okay. But they also had $5 Dos Equis. So we had the cheap food, the cheap drinks, we got the free jersey. And then when we get there, they gave out vouchers. The first 1,500 in there, they got a voucher for a case of toilet paper or paper towels. So as you left, you went through this line. And so Rebecca and Brendan, they got their toilet paper and paper towels. I go through, and you either had toilet paper or paper towel on your ticket. So I got paper towel, so I went through there. Kathy was the only one of us that had toilet paper, so she went through the toilet paper, and it took her forever to get around. And I'm thinking, what's taking her so long? Finally, she comes back with a box that also has paper towels in it. She said that she was standing in line, got her toilet paper, and someone said, "Here, you want this?" So she said, "Sure." So we got a good haul.
That was a great weekend, man. I never. That was some. So you recommend hitting the Memphis ballpark and going down there and seeing a game? It's nice. Yeah. I hear it's real nice.
It really is nice. So, and here's a little video to show you what we did.
Here we are in Memphis at AutoZone Park. Ready to see the Memphis Redbirds. Kathy, are you charged?
I'm excited.
Brendan, Rebecca, are you charged? So you're really happy?
Rebecca looks excited.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. And JJ right over there, they're giving out toilet paper and paper towels for the first 1,500. I think we're going to get some. Look at this, JJ. It is Jersey night here at the AAA team, and this is the Memphis Red Sox, which were the Negro League team in Memphis, I think back in the 30s and 40s, but very cool.
We could be champions.
The Red Sox take the field. Yes, they are the Red Sox for today, and we are playing Winnet, the AAA team for the Atlanta Braves. AJ Brendan is a serious fan. He keeps score. JJ, your namesake, JJ Weatherholt is up the bat. Redbirds are down 3-1 in the bottom of the third. Uh-oh. We have a can of corn. But we misplayed it. Okay, JJ, one of the joys about going to a minor league game is all the perks. Not only did we get these beautiful Memphis Red Sox from the Negro League's jerseys, it was giveaway for paper towels and toilet paper tonight. So we got paper towels to wipe our mouths and toilet paper to wipe our noses. Also, it was $5 taco nights. We got 2 tacos for $5, street tacos. And for $5, you could have a Dos Equis or one of 3 flavors of margaritas. Great night at the minor league ballpark. Too bad the Redbirds lost. We're in the Airbnb. We're going to bed.
All right.
Very
That's
cool.
us having fun at the ball game.
Yeah.
So, very, very cool. And I do want to put a plug in. My oldest daughter, Tabitha, and we've started a podcast, YouTube channel, YouTube show. It is called Small Screen Cinema with Tabitha and Dad. And what we do is we look at TV movies and kind of go over the history of the movie. We go over the content of the movie, and then we rate the movie either a classic or a trash it. And then Tabitha tries to guess whether or not I actually saw the original airing of the
Oh, okay.
movie. And we started with what I think is one of the best TV movies ever made, Steven Spielberg's Duel. So if you would like to watch the show, check it out. It is our first episode. There are a few bugs. We will hammer it out. I mean, it only took JJ and I 2.5 years to figure this out.
That's right.
So we'll figure it out one day. But you just go to YouTube and you type in Small Screen Cinema with Tabitha, 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 Tabitha and Dad, and you'll find us. And
All right.
appreciate if you just give it a check out. And,
I sure will.
feedback. So that's it. I guess the show's over. Let me get into injuries and transactions of notable people. Tyler Stevenson from Cincinnati is going to the 10-day IL with a left thumb fracture. So that's probably going to keep him out a lot longer than 10 days. This was kind of cool. The Rangers released Craig Kimbrell, who then signed a contract with the Astros. And it was a major league contract. It wasn't a minor league contract. They're putting him on the roster now because they're in that fight with the Mariners, and they're trying to get to a playoff spot. So they picked him up. I've always liked Craig Kimbrell. I know he's not what he used to be, but if he can come in and get you, 3 outs in the 6th inning or something like that, that's going to help them. Also with the Astros, Evan Carter's on the 10-day IL with a fractured. Also with the Rangers. Evan Carter's on the 10-day IL with a fractured right wrist, and Marcus Semien is on the 10-day IL with the right foot contusion. I think the Rangers are toast. I think you may have lost your money.
Well, you know what? It's been fun watching them all year. They're not totally out of it, but it's not looking good.
Yeah. Tampa shortstop Hae-Wang Kim is on the 10-day IL with lower back inflammation. The Royals have released Mark Canha. Kind of surprised me. I guess he wasn't producing. He is kind of getting older.
Yeah.
Boston outfielder Wilyer Abreu is on the 10-day IL with a strained left calf. That's not going to help them at all. Adley Rushman, who is just taking a lot. He's been put under the wing of Tyler O'Neill, and he's figuring out how to go on the disabled list a lot. He's on the disabled list again, 10-day IL with a strained right oblique. Miami Wave pitcher Cal Quantrill, so Atlanta said, we'll take him, and so they picked him right up. So, it's not good for the Braves when they're picking up the trash from Miami. I didn't mean to call Cal Quantrill trash, but he was waiting. The Padres' Jackson Merrill's on the 10-day IL with a sprained ankle. That's not going to help them as they're fighting the Dodgers for not just the division, but they're also fighting for possibly a wild card if they don't make that. Frankie Montas of the Mets to the 60 IL with a right elbow UCL surgery coming up, and the Mets are fighting. I see some fans who live and die every game with their team, and I get it.
Yeah.
Mark Marianello is one of them.
I love Mark. I know.
And Atlanta released Eric Fetty. And if I'm Eric Fetty, I go home. I don't try to hook on anywhere else. I go home and I go to a sports psychologist and I try to figure out what's going on because his stuff hasn't changed.
No.
I mean, he never was a hard thrower. He was always a control type pitcher. He had great success with the White Sox last year. And then when he was traded to you, he had good success there. And then this year, he's just getting lit up. So I hope for the best for him. And there was one obituary that I do want to talk about. Mark Hill, former catcher who played for the Cardinals, the Giants, and the White Sox. He passed away at age 73. And what's interesting about him, I did not know this until I looked into this. Mark Hill was born in Ellsbury, Missouri. So if you're on that, I don't know, is it 94 from St. Charles on up to Hannibal, that two-way highway that goes through all these small towns and Louisiana and stuff. Ellsbury is one of those places along that highway, so it's just a little spot in the road. Not only was he born there, he died there. So he continued to live in Ellsbury, which I think is really cool. After his playing days, he coached, he managed some of the minor leagues and coached some of the minor leagues. But former Cardinal, had a decent career, is mostly as a backup catcher, and yeah, passed away at the age of 73.
I use in the Immaculate Grid for everybody that plays the Immaculate Grid, it's a tic-tac-toe and it gives you categories. I use Mark Hill a lot. I always thought of him. I loved his baseball cards. He came up with the Cardinals, but he was always behind Ted Simmons. So we ended up trading him to the Giants, and he got more playing time there. And we got Ken Rudolph, another catcher, and Alessa Sosa, reliever. So we got two players for him, and he went up there, and Willie McCovey gave him the nickname the Booter. I don't know where that came from, but if Willie McCovey's giving you a nickname, you take it. So he played with the Giants for a while, brief stint with the Mariners because I use that Immaculate Grid a lot, and then ended with the White Sox. And I just remember him mainly the name and his baseball cards. But Vince, we're getting older. I didn't think he was anywhere near 73 years old. All of the players we watched as kids are now, getting up in the 70s and 80s, and that shouldn't be. We're getting old, Vince.
Yeah. My memory of him from growing up is not as him catching. I'd never seen someone spell the name Mark, M-A-R-C. So that was my ooh, that's kind of a cool way to spell Mark.
Yeah.
So in other news, Cal Raleigh set the catcher home run mark, now at 50, with a 5.5 weeks left in the season.
Yes. I'm telling you, and he is only 4 away from. He's a switch hitter, which is unusual for a catcher. And the home run record for switch hitters is 54 by Mickey Mantle. The Seattle Mariner record is 56 by Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, he's getting in rarefied air. And Vince, if you know how this ends, and if the Mariners get in, he's making a strong case for the MVP. That catcher spot is a hard position to get to play a lot. And I know Judge is Judge, but I don't know where Seattle would be without, the big dumper. So maybe got a shot at the MVP.
I think he's the MVP.
I do too.
Judge has missed time this year with injury. He's played a lot of DH due to injury. He's playing DH right now due to injury. And I know he's got the high batting average, and I know that he's a better pure hitter than Raleigh. But position means a lot. He's catching, and he's catching one of the best staffs in baseball. So he's doing really good. He's not elite defensively, but he's very good. He's probably top 7, 8 catcher defensively in the American League. I just don't know how you don't give it to him.
Well, last year he won the Platinum Glove in the American League, and he's got 2 seasons in a row now with 100 RBIs, and the last catcher to go 2 seasons in a row and get 100 RBIs was Thurman Munson in the early 70s. I mean, this is some incredible stuff that you just watch him. And the one stat he's got over Judge, which I never would have thought this, is he's got more stolen bases. I think if I'm not wrong, I looked at his statistics and I think he's got 18 stolen bases for a catcher. That's amazing. I mean, that's Jason Kendall or somebody like that, Benito Santiago kind of stuff right there. So what a season. And I'm going to enjoy these last few weeks. I know that whenever Seattle's on there, I'm really pulling for them. They've never won a World Series. They haven't had a whole lot of playoff experience, and it's going to be fun watching them. They picked up a lot of players at the trading deadline, and they're going for it. So it's going to be fun watching them down the stretch.
I guess he steals so many bases because that big dumper he has makes his legs go fast. I hate that nickname, by the way.
It is an unusual. It took me a while to like the big unit too. It took a little while for me to get on the big unit one.
The big unit was due to his height. The big dumper is due to his butt.
His mom doesn't like it. I heard that his mom hates the nickname.
I mean, I know they couldn't have called him the big ass, but
yeah, that wouldn't be appropriate. That's true.
Oh, we finally have found out why Ron Washington took a medical leave. He had a quadruple bypass in June, but he will be back in 2026. And I saw a fantastic picture of he and Bruce Bochy embracing before the game. They opposed each other in the 2010 World Series, which the Giants won. And I just thought that was a really cool picture, and I'm very happy that Washington's going to be back.
I'm with you.
And gosh, how old is Ron Washington?
Vince, he may be in his 70s. I think the game's better with Ron Washington around. He's been a guy who's managed, who's went down and became a coach. He's back to managing, and I always pull for him. Class guy and just one of those baseball men.
He's 73.
73. I would have thought something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking good.
Looking better than I will at 73. You have to make it.
It's all downhill from here, Vince.
Paul Skeens has a 2.02 ERA after 50 games, which is the second lowest ERA after 50 games. You know who had the lowest after 50 games?
Well, I got the number in front of me. So I looked it up. Vida Blue.
Vida Blue.
Oh, man.
We forget how dominant he was at the beginning. Well, I'd say for about the first 7-8 years of his career, he was dominant, and then fell off the table.
He was on Time magazine. I remember the front cover of Time, which baseball players, Pete Rose was on the front cover of Time too, but Vida Blue was on there for actually playing. And you just didn't see that very often. I went, whoa. This was when I first got into baseball. My best friend was an Oakland A's fan, the Mustache Gang. Because they won. I mean, who was it? They won all the time. But Vida Blue was a big part of that. And the name was cool too, Vince. I mean, Vida Blue, Catfish Hunter, cool names.
Well, when he went to sign his major league contract with Charlie Finley said, "We're going to call you True Blue. We got Blue Moo Odoms, Catfish Hunter. We got all these nicknames. We're going to call you True Blue." And he signed the contract Vida and put it in front of him and said, "The name's Vida." And that was it. So.
I like that. Speaking of which, yesterday was Raleigh Fingers' 73rd birthday. So happy birthday, Raleigh Fingers. Nice guy. One of the most, if you've seen a silhouette, the average fan would know that was Raleigh Fingers. Just a cool name and just had that look about him, just like from another era or something.
Yeah. Fingers, there's an interesting documentary. It's got to be at least 10 years old. It's Fingers, Suter, Gossage, and oh gosh, there's one more in there. Finger, Suter, Gossage, and I think maybe Eckersley. And they're talking about closing. And it's funny because you have Eckersley, who's very personable. You have Fingers, who's very personable, Suter, who is very personable, and then you had Rich Gossage, who has been a grumpy old man since the age of 18.
Yes,
So
that's
that
right.
that's one guy. He cannot say anything positive about the modern game, and I'm sure when you were playing, there were some old timers that thought you were playing it wrong. The game changes and evolves. Yeah,
It
sorry,
does.
it does.
It does.
So
Yes. You can almost take any era, and because I hear people today, well, those players, I mean, they worked, they were coal miners, he was hitting off of coal miners. And I'm like, man, those guys could throw inside, they could hit you. They threw, spitballs and all that. Every era's got different hurdles to overcome. So if you are a top player in your era, I mean, you're playing against the same rules everybody else is in your time.
yeah,
So, I don't know. But also, before we get off of Skeens too much, if he wins the Cy Young this year, he'll be only the second player to win the Rookie of the Year his first season and win the Cy Young his second season. Would you happen to know who did that? Who won a Rookie of the Year first season? He was in our timeline of when we watched baseball.
Dwight Gooden.
Dwight Good, man, Vince, you're good. Yeah, Dwight Gooden. So if he's up with, and again, speaking of people who came out of the chutes like Vida Blue, Dwight Gooden, there was about 4 or 5 years there where he was just, man, he was the best. He was the best in the league.
Yeah, and then Tuffy Rhodes humbled him
And that was the end of it right there.
right there. The new schedule has come out. The 2026 season will start Wednesday, the 25th, with the Yankees at San Francisco. That's a Wednesday night game, and then everybody else will start Thursday or Friday. Now, I did some digging because I was a little perturbed with the way the schedule worked out this year. And for the Cardinals and Cubs, they have a series in St. Louis the last weekend of May. Okay. Then they don't meet again till 4th of July weekend in Wrigley for a 3-game series. I think that's pretty cool. And then they have a 4-game series the last week of July, in a 4-game series the last week of July in St. Louis. And then they have a weekend series in the middle of August. Nothing in September.
I know.
And we end with I don't know, the
Twins or something.
I don't know, the Bismarck Buffaloes or somebody. It's like we do end with the Cardinals this year. Our final series is with the Cardinals. At least they got that part right. I didn't like not seeing the Cardinals until June. So I do like they're going to be playing a little bit earlier this year, and I do like the 4th of July weekend series. That's always going to be great. But come on, man, finishing up in the middle of August. No wonder they want to put us in different divisions. They
I
don't
know it.
rival.
And Vince, even when you're fighting for the division title, that's great. But a team like us, which is below 500 right now, it's exciting. And you're like, you know what? You get a team that maybe just floundering and going through the motions. You get up for a team like we're playing the Cubs. Oh, maybe we can make them a wild card. We're going to give them everything we got. It feels good. Like, hey, you know what? We still got it. Or we're playing the Pirates or the Reds or the Brewers, and you want to, show, hey, we've had a rough year, but we still are a pretty good team. So, but when you're playing other also Rans and other divisions, it kind of takes a little of the spunk out of it, I think.
Certainly does.
I look through the schedule, Vincent, because I'm always like this. Me and Brody he wants to take his girlfriend, and I'm going to take Faith, and we're going to go up to Milwaukee. So we were looking at, who's going to be up there for like a home series through the week. And there's a week, I think it's in May, where it's the Dodgers and Cardinals. And then if we come down, we can go to Kaminsky, and I think it's the White Sox and the Giants. And I thought, right there, that'd be a great trip right there. So he gets this. He's got this check marks of all the teams he's been to. So the White Sox are close, so we could do both stadiums there. That'd be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have any other general news?
Well, we talk about the Phillies. So many teams. I mean, everybody's banged up right now. Nobody's feeling sorry for any other team. But with Zach Wheeler going down, he's probably he's gonna have surgery and maybe out the rest of the year. Oh, that's going to be tough for the Phillies right there. I mean, they're a good team. Every year you think they're just about on the brink, and then Nola this year just hasn't pitched very well, and then you got Zach Wheeler going to be out, uh, season-ending surgery. So that's rough. Um, the Yankees, I tell you what, Vince, I've been watching the Yankees, and defensively, they're not very good. They shoot themselves in the foot, but they can hit a home run like nobody's business. That team, if they're close, they can hit a couple home runs and they're right back in the game. And of course, the field they play in, that right field porch, oh, they're deadly. So I never count the Yankees out, even though you're like, well, on paper, they're so bad defensively, and they benched their shortstop, which I know you guys benched Tucker last week. We talked about that. I'm sure you're going to talk about him more this week, but they benched a shortstop who had, I think, made a league leading like 17 errors this year or something. So he's just been killing them. We played them, and Vince, they still made about 4 or 5 errors, but they still beat the crap out of us because they hit 3 or 4 home runs. And just this weekend, they had a 2-game series with Tampa Bay, and they hit 9 home runs. I mean, what can you do with that when they're just cranking out home runs left and right? We might, in a 2-game series, hit 2 home runs, and the Yankees are just hitting 9. So, oh, man. And then the Orioles have been taking a lot of static about not signing all this young talent they got to long-term contracts. And you mentioned Adley Rutschman back on the DL. Well, I think next year's his last year. He could go free agent after next year. They have a young hitting prospect who's a catcher named Chandler, and he made his debut. And I'm sorry, a catcher named Samuel Basilo. And after 4 games, they signed him to an 8-year, $67 million contract. So I don't know if that means Rushman, they're going to part ways, or this kid is such a good hitter, they're going to move him to a different position. But he's the first one of that group that they signed to a long-term contract. It's kind of surprising when you have Gunnar Henderson and Rushman and that kid, Holiday kid. And I mean, they've got so much talent over there as far as their position players. I would have thought they would have signed a couple of those guys to long-term contracts. And I hope the Cardinals do Mason Wynn or somebody like that, and sign them up for a few, and buy that arbitration years, because Donovan went to arbitration last year and it created bad feelings because the team's got to like downplay the player, and the player's trying to talk about how good he's done and what he earns, and sort of like they fight over how good the player is, and just bad feelings. So I applaud Baltimore on signing. They must be big on this kid after 4 games, signing him to an 8-year deal.
Well, you have to have a player who's willing to extend.
That's true.
The Cubs have offered PCA an extension. He said, no, I'm going to gamble on myself. I'm going to bet on myself that I will be around for 6 years and hit free agency. And then maybe I'll make 500-600 million by that time. You never know. We tried to extend other players. We tried to extend Bryant. We tried to extend Baez. We offered them competitive contracts for extensions, and they said, no, I'm going to gamble on myself. It paid off for them. They signed huge $150 million contracts. So I'm kind of surprised when you have a top-notch prospect like Jackson Churios. Why did he extend himself? Because he was saying, okay, I may not make it to 6 years. I may have a catastrophic injury or something like that. So you kind of got to kind of bet on yourself that you're going to be healthy, that you're going to maintain this level of production. Because if you don't, you're not going to get that big contract. And if you were one who extended through arbitration, maybe a couple years, you got your money. And I think like Bobby Witt Jr., his contract, they extended him, but he's got opt-outs in that contract. I'm not sure he's going to want to opt out because they're competitive. and he's the George Brett of that town now.
Sure is.
So I don't know if he's got that strong a loyalty to the Royals, but he seems to. Um, but when they extended him, that was big money extension that they did for him. That
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
just 6 years, $80,000, which is about 12 million a year or something like that. And they extended him for big bucks. So it's a crapshoot for the player. You either get sure money now, or you're gonna gamble that you're going to maintain and make huge money on down the road.
And you're right, Vince. You got to have the player wanting to stay. I I don't know. I kind of put myself in this situation. I mean, somebody offered me 80 million. Yeah, I think that. But you're right. If they believe, hey, I could get a lot more, I'm gonna bust my butt, and I'm just gonna go free agent that much earlier. Yeah, you're right. And some people sign those players. We've had St. Louis has had kind of a bad run in when we extend people. We had Matt Carpenter, and I love Matt. And Matt was a great player. He did anything we asked him to. But there at the end, we had a couple of years where he wasn't doing so well. And there's been other players too. So kind of bit the Cardinals a little bit when we did those kind of contracts. So anyway, the last thing I was going to mention, Vince, is Corbin Carroll. He leads the Major League Baseball with 16 triples, and he's had 4 multi-triple games, and no one in the history of baseball has ever had 5 multi-triple games in a season. So if he and my gosh, I think triples are the hardest thing in baseball to get. First of all, he's very fast. He I don't know if he's PCA fast, but he's fast. Then you just have to hit in the right place and go for it. But he's got 16 right now, and I think the record is a guy named Chief Wilson in 1912 with 36 triples. The outfield back in those days was so big, and they didn't have the fields they have today. But in the modern era, and we Don Frizzy posts everything about the Pittsburgh Pirates 1925. Number 5 on the triple list is that Kiki Collier in 26 triples in 1925. I saw that and I thought of Don. But in the modern era, it was 2007. Curtis Granderson had 23 triples. So that's kind of a neat stat right there. Triples kind of get overlooked, but I tell you what, clean the bases and you still got a man in scoring position on third base. So anyway, just a little shout out there to Corbin Carroll, and I hope he does it, except against the Cardinals or the Cubs.
I think we're done with the Diamondbacks.
Oh,
Maybe not. I don't know. We've got a very friendly schedule from here on out,
yes, you
and
do.
hopefully we can take advantage of that. So far, we are. Um, any other news?
That's it as far as general news, Vince.
Well, what's going on with your St. Louis Cardinals?
Well, we talked about Eric Fetty, and we traded him for a player to be named later in cash. So the Cardinals look like they came out okay there. First year, like you said, he pitched pretty good for us. And this year, it's just been tough. And they showed a stat where his record, when the days he pitched in our record, and it was rough. And then they showed McCreevy's stat, if he had pitched in his spot all year, now you can't do that. I mean, you don't know what would have happened in those games. But if they would have played out like we have now, we'd be probably running neck and neck with the Cincinnati Reds. So, we'd be in the hunt more so. But that's neither here nor there. And I wish Fetty the best. And who knows? We're going to need some veteran pitchers. He might be back with the Cardinals next year. Who knows? Mason Wynn, I did not know at the All-Star break, he took an injection in his knee. He was having a lot of pain with his knee, and that guy plays all the time. They have to give him a day off every once in a while because he plays 7, 8, 9 games in a row. What a player. The city loves him. He's playing incredible. Last year, there's a defensive Bible with different statistics, and he was like the shortstop that won the award for best defense according to them. Now, I don't know how that differs from MLB statistics, but there is talk like he's going to be in the running for the Gold Glove this year. Phenomenal player. He did an MRI Monday. I thought he'd be, rest him. We're just a 4th place team. Rest him. And I'll be darned, I didn't watch the game last night, and there was there was Wynn playing shortstop and made some incredible plays. Did you see the play? They were going to throw to third and get the lead man, and he threw it way off Leahy. And out of nowhere, here comes Wynn flying in there and caught the ball and saved a couple of runs there. It's so good. And when he's not in the lineup, there's just a big drop off at shortstop for the Cardinals. I'm a Mason Wynn fan, and I hope he stays here for a long time. And it's a joy watching him, but I don't want him to play hurt, and this could hurt his career in the long run. So I'd like to see him get more rest. There's nothing except for personal stats and things like that. There's really nothing to play for. Don't get yourself hurt and be ready to come out strong next year. You don't see that a lot these days. A lot of players want a day off, but man, Mason Wynn's out there busting his butt, wanting to do all he can to help the team.
Yeah.
So I like him. So 31 games left. That's less than 5 weeks. And the Cardinals, I like the kid we got in center field. He was a player that they moved up to Memphis this year, Nathan Church. And when Victor Scott went down, he got playing. He's a good-looking young kid. I've heard a lot of scouts say he's like a Sal Frelick type player. And I see that. Small player, good bat control, puts the bat on the ball. I like this kid. The other day, he got his first hit and first home run in the same game. And he made an eye-popping play this week where a ball was hitting the alley, and he went flying, did a Superman dive, and caught that ball. So very fun watching Nathan Church out there. And now he's going to get I'm sure in spring training, he'll get a fair shot to play and make the team next year. J.J. Weatherholt is just lighting it up in the minors. He had his the third 3-hit game in the last 6. And since July 9th, he's hitting 328 in AAA. It's good to see this, though, Vince. I know it's not the pros, but it's good to see this kid doing this down there. And everybody's calling him for him to come up. I say bring him up next year. We got to make decisions on these people playing now with 20 extra base hits and 9 home runs. So he's everything we thought he'd be so far. I know the pros is a different animal altogether. And then we went down to Florida this week, and it was a rough one. We were down there. We won Tuesday 7-4. McCreevy continues. He struggles at times, but Vince, the thing I like about McCreevy is he looks like he can adjust on the fly, and he usually goes about 6 innings. And of course, on Tuesday, he went 6 innings with 2 earned runs, no walks, and 5 Ks, and the bullpen threw 3 shutout innings. Very happy with our bullpen and McCreevy. I think he's going to be a solid pro starter, and we desperately needed 5 of those guys. I think we have 2 right now. Wednesday, we lost to Florida 2-6, and Sandy Alcantara just 5 hit us over 7 innings, and he just overmatched us. And man, it's fun watching that guy play. Unfortunately, he's with Florida Marlins. And then so we lost. We won 1 out of 3 against the Marlins. We go down to Tampa Bay, and we win on Thursday 7-4. We lose Friday 10-6, and we had an unusual day off Saturday. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to be playing, and evidently it's close to where Tampa Bay plays. So they decided take the day off. The off day was supposed to be Thursday. They played Thursday instead, which for the players, it's great to have a Saturday off at Tampa. Yeah. I mean, that would be a cool thing to do.
Sea fishing. Oh, yeah.
Golf, go to the nightclubs. That's my universal symbol for nightclubs. That's right there.
Okay. Mine's this.
See. Yeah. And then Sunday we lost to Tampa Bay 2-7, and they just beat us up. They're good. They were stealing bases. We got to hold these runners closer. And then last night we played the Pittsburgh Pirates, our old division friends, and we beat them 7-6. It was a heck of a game. They pulled ahead 4-1. We had a 5-run inning. We came back. Burleson had 4 hits. He's doing so good for us, playing a solid defense. He plays right field. Well, he can play right, left, or first base or DH. He had 4 hits last night. Wynn played, even though he had that MRI, it apparently wasn't as bad as we thought. So he went out there and played. And Contreras got ejected. And that's been the big talk on the internet. And I tell you what, I love Contreras. Now, you're not supposed to throw bats, but he stands up for his teammates. He's like Yachty. We've had some hot heads in the past. Stands up for his teammates. Um, the story is he said something he wasn't supposed to. He was talking to the ump as he backed up. This ump, I think, he just threw him out, and Contreras went wild and threw gum and his shin pad, and I think he swung a bat around. So last I heard he was going to be suspended for 5 games, but he's appealing that right now. So he's in the lineup tonight after the appeal, but he'll probably get a few games for this. But I tell you what, I wish our whole team had the spunk and the fire that Contreras has without throwing the bats. Kids do not throw the bats, but other than that, I absolutely love this guy, and he's a good ambassador of the game. He's always talking to the other team at first and patting them on the back, and just a good guy. And I know how you love him too. I mean, he was a big part of your World Championship team, and man, I just love his gumption out there. So we'll probably be without him a few days. So maybe they'll call up another minor leaguer while he's out, and we'll see what we got going on. But that's kind of it for Cardinal news, Vince.
Yeah, we were talking before we started recording, and I watched the episode with Contreras. First of all, I read a headline first thing this morning, Contreras throws his bat at the umpire, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. And then when I saw it, it was said, but he hit Brant Brown. I thought, I hope Brant Brown's okay, And then when I saw it, it was just kind of a little shove at the bat. It wasn't like he hurled it. But my take on it was they're by the Cardinal dugout. The players and coaches are trying to get Contreras off the field, and the umpire is right there. Now, if you're not instigating something, I don't know what you're doing. You just go back behind home plate and let them get him out of the game, and that incident would have never happened. But no, this umpire, and I don't know the name of the umpire. I should have looked it up, but I didn't know I'd be ranting on this. But this umpire, during this argument, just kept following Contreras, and they're getting him off the field, and the umpire is still right there. So he just chucked his bat like, get out, and I just thought that I watched Wilson Contreras play a long time. He's a fiery guy, but I've never seen him do anything like that. And then when I read the headline, I thought tossing the bat, and then when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's much ado about nothing. So,
yeah. And the thing was, he said I struck out. It was a good pitch, but he just said to the ump, call that for us as well. And the ump thought he said something derogatory. And that's when he threw him out. So
shorts.
I heard this is not my take, but I think it was on ESPN or KMOX. And I think it was Brad Thompson said this. If most a lot of times players are mad at themselves and they murmur under their breath. If 99% of the time, just let them walk back muttering something to themselves. It doesn't affect you. You got to be stronger than that. You're the kind of the guardian of the game there.
The adult in the room.
Yeah, and just take it and let the guy walk back to the dugout. Now, if he turns around and gets in your face, that's a different story. But yeah, 99% of the time, it's just let the game continue. You're not the star of the show. You're just here to keep it going. So anyway, I like that attitude. Let them just walk back to the dugout, and usually they'll sit down, and that's the end of it. Now, to keep chirping, and the Cardinals have done this year, when they chirp about balls and strikes, well, then you got to take a shower. So I'm with the umpire there, But yeah, I think there was a lot of overreaction here.
Yeah, I do too. Well, in Cub news, the Kyle Tucker benching lasted exactly 2 games. And since those 2-game benching, he has been 5 for 16 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. Now that counts Thursday's day game against the Brewers when he was 0 for 4. So you take that away. when he went to Anaheim, he was 5 for 12, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. He beat the Anaheim Angels by himself. Now, what looks good, Tucker is an extreme fly ball hitter. He always has been. The last month and a half, he's been hitting slow rollers to the right side, just not like him to roll out like that. And what I was really impressed with, besides hitting 3 home runs in a double in the first 2 games, in that third game, we're facing Kyle Hendricks for the first time, probably the only time we'll ever face Kyle Hendricks, longtime Cub, so it was kind of cool. But we had a runner, I think, on second in scoring position, and Michael Bush and Tucker. Hendricks throws that fading changeup to the left-hander, and he makes his living off left-handers trying to pull that, rolling it into going to second base. Tucker went with it, hit a nice little line drive single into left field, scored the run. So it's looking, small sample size, but it's looking like he's back on the road to recovery. We do know that at the beginning of June, he had a hairline fracture in his wrist, and they didn't IL him because they said it's not anything that's going to get worse. And he still hit well until the end of June. But then that's his bottom hand. Then he started compensating with his upper hand, which kind of whacked out his swing to where eventually all he was doing was hitting ground balls. So they gave him a couple games off. I think that was is that the doubleheader? Yeah, that was the doubleheader. So it was only 1 day off. Set both doubleheader. No, wait a minute. I don't remember. I'm old. But anyway, he's back and he's looking good. I want to talk a little bit about Cade Horton. He is now 8-4 with a 2.88 ERA. He's becoming one of the favorites for Rookie of the Year. He's on a pitch count because since college, he's barely pitched over 200 innings going into this year. College, minors, because of injury, he just hasn't pitched much. Electric stuff. So he's on a pitch count. And what that has forced him to do is he throws everything over the plate. He's got this wipeout slider that he doesn't use because if they lay off of it, it's going to be a wasted pitch. So he's not wasting pitches. His last start against the Angels, he started the game with 21 straight strikes. Unreal.
Yeah.
And when you throw as hard as he does, and you have the cutter he does, and you have the slider that he does, and the changeup, which he gets over, you got 4 pitches that even though they're coming over the plate, they're very hard to hit. Now, he's not striking out even a hitter an inning. And people are saying, well, I thought he was a strikeout pitcher. That's because he's not throwing anything off the plate because he can't afford to. He wants to hang around for about 6 innings. So he's throwing 70 pitches, hanging around for 6 innings, getting his victories, holding people down to no scores. His only bad outing since the All-Star break was against the Brewers in that first game. He pitched 2 innings and gave up 1 run, but he had a blister develop on his finger, so they pulled him early. So he didn't miss a start. He came back and just dominated again. So shout out to Cade Horton. Ryan Brazier's been placed on the 15-day IL with a left groin strain. And Jamison Tyone in his last start, which he won, he's 2-0 since coming off the disabled or the injured list. He has groin tightness, and he is said to be day-to-day, which means he'll probably be out till September 15th. So let me go through some of the games real quick. I said a few weeks ago, it's been a long time since I've said something like we've had a great week because it's just been like 500 week after week after week. Well, we finally had that great week. We were 5-1 this week. Tuesday night while we were talking, we played a second game. We had the day game first, so we're playing the second game of the doubleheader on Tuesday night while we were recording, and we won 4-1. Bush had a couple of hits, no, a couple RBIs. Hap had a couple of hits. Swanson had a couple of hits. Willie Castro just had a wonderful outfield assist from right field, just threw a rocket to gun out Bryce Terang to help preserve things. Tyone, that was his first game back. 6 innings, 5 hits. No, it's the second game back, excuse me. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. And then Kittredge came in and got the save, being that Palencia had pitched earlier in the day to get the save. So we swept the Tuesday doubleheader. Very good. So Wednesday we play Milwaukee. We're 2-1 in this 5-game series against Milwaukee. We win Wednesday 4-3, and we faced the Miz. And I think it was the second inning. He walked the bases loaded, and then Bush cleared them with the double. And so Bush had 3 RBIs. Matt Shaw hit a late home run, which was the difference. Matt Shaw has just been awesome since the All-Star break. And Colin Ray got the win. He is now 10-5. The ZRA is hovering about 4, but we seem to be scoring enough for him to get his victories. Palencia came in and got his 18th save. So then Thursday, I was visiting in Memphis, so I could only check the scores. We lost 5-1 to the Brewers, so we had the 5-game series with the Brewers. We won it 3-2. Now, considering how hot the Brewers had been, they'd lost 4 times in like 30 years before that. Yeah, for us to get 3 out of 5 was really good. Not much to mention in this game. Imanaga did pitch good, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, and he got saddled with the loss. So then we flew out to Los Angeles, and Friday night we played the Angels. We won 4-2. Tucker hit the home run early in the game, and then in the 9th inning, top of the 9th, score tied 2-2. PCA hits a solo shot. Assad pitched his best game since being back. He was 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, so very good outing. And then Palencia came in and got his 19th save. So then Saturday we played the Angels again, and we won 12-1. It was a laugher. Bush had a couple of hits. Tucker had 3 hits, 2 home runs and a double, 5 RBIs. Willie Castro 2 for 5. And Reese McGuire 1 for 2, 5 RBIs, including a grand slam. That's production out of your 9-hole there.
Yes.
Won 12-2. And Kate Horton, this is the game I said he started with 21 straight strikes, 6 innings, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts. His ZRA is down to 2.88. He's 8-4 now. And Ben Brown pitched the last 3 innings to get one of those garbage saves when the score is really high. But hey, you pitched 3 innings.
Yeah.
So got his first major league save. Very good. And then Sunday we beat the Angels again, 4-3. Horner was 2 for 4. Shaw was 2 for 4. Tyone pitched 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, and that's when his groin tightened up. They took him out, but he did get the victory. Palencia with his 20th save. Just about 10 days ago, we were 9 games out from the Brewers. We got within 5. We were off last night. They won, so we're within 5.5 of the Brewers. I may have waved that right towel to Brendan a little early.
Psychological. You do the sight you got in his mind now.
So
they let up.
But we'll see. But we are looking more like ourselves. When Kyle Tucker hits, we look really good. The rest of the offense falls in line. So if Tucker continues to hit and we can find a way to 3-4 times a week get Owen Casey's bat in the lineup, I would like to see Casey get some good hits. The ball just jumps off his bat. I mean, he's a big dude. He's a big ginger dude. So
I got 2 questions for you about the Cubs.
I've got 4
with Cade Horton being a young pitcher, because I just heard this on a different podcast that a lot of these pitchers in college only pitch once a week. And in the minor leagues, they pitch once a week. So now they come up to the pros and they're trying to get them to go 5 and 6, 7 innings. Do you think it would be in the Cubs' best interest maybe to skip Horton every once in a while, or move him back a couple of days, or or like with the Brewers, I don't know if Miz was really hurt, but they put him on the 10-day IR to preserve the arm and stuff. Would that be something that the Cubs could do? Because you're in a good, strong spot for the playoffs right now.
I don't think so, because I think that they've decided we're just going to limit his pitches. He's not throwing 80 pitches a game. I mean, if he
Oh,
throws 70 pitches, that's a lot for him. That's why
okay.
he's just throwing the ball over the plate. He's still getting 5 or 6 innings in,
Okay.
but he's not throwing 85 to 95 pitches. He's throwing 65 to 75 pitches. So they've chose to attack it that way. Um, he's he is right now our best starter. When he's in the game, I have complete confidence that he can hold offenses down, because he does get everything over the plate. And he just learned the changeup this year. And a lot of players, the changeup is hard for them to control. It takes a lot of work to get yourself to control it, because the changeup isn't like other pitches where you're just throwing. You have to have the same arm motion, but the ball has to come out much slower. And it's very tricky to train yourself to do that. And so how he mastered his changeup so quick is beyond me. But I'm I'm say keep doing what we're doing. I mean, we have enough injury. Tyon may be out again.
Oh,
We've already lost Steele. Imanaga's had a stint on the IL. Boyd and Horton have been the stalwarts, and Horton didn't start the year with us. But now with Assad back, giving us a little more depth in the rotation, I think we're in pretty good shape. Even if we do lose Tyon for a little bit, I still think we're in pretty good shape.
all right. Well, you guys have had a great season. And forgive me for not knowing this, because is Bush and Shaw, are they rookies, or have they been up for a few years? I honestly, this was like the first I heard about Bush. I think he came out of the Dodger organization, but I didn't know how much he got to play. Are they either one of them rookies this year? Because they're playing. As the year goes on, they're just getting better and better.
Hold on, I hate it when something pops up on my screen.
Oh,
Your account is full and it stops syncing. No, this is an ad for something. I don't get off my screen. There we go. Are
all
we
right.
okay? Bush played last year. Last year was his rookie year, and he hit
Okay.
20 some odd home runs for the Cubs. Played great defense. This year he's having an even better year. This is Shaw's rookie year.
Okay.
I'm still not counting out Shaw for rookie of the year.
I know that's what I was thinking, Vince. He is getting each month he's getting better and better.
Yeah, his average is only about 230 right now. He is in double-digit home runs. He's driving in runs, but his defense is.
Top notch.
I don't think anybody saw his defense coming like this. And
My goodness.
we've seen some bad defensive third basemen over the past 5, 6 years, and nothing is worse than watching Christopher Morel sleeping at third base. And then we had Ixop Paredes last year for the second half of the season. He was not that great defensively either. And then suddenly we got this guy there who makes all these dazzling plays and great throws. It's like, wow.
Man, outstanding.
Yeah, that's just been tremendous. Before we get to Jeremy Connor, I do want to say that our friend, more of a friend of yours, Ray Hartman, has been in the hospital. And that was it a pacemaker or a bypass?
I think it was bypass is what I
Okay. All right. So, Ray, we hope you get better. Keep recovering, because you have a segment on here in a few weeks. So,
get better.
yeah, get better. So, and if you would like to join us for Raise Battle Royal, as we call it. If you'd like to challenge me and JJ, let us know. We'd like to have you on here. And if you've seen Raise Battle Royal, you know it's open to anybody because he makes us look rather stupid. So, but you know who never looks stupid?
Oh, Jeremy Connor. Never, he's always looking fit and fine.
Einsteinian. Comes a time in every man's life when he needs some advice on relationships. You need to listen to the podcast DMDR, which stands for Dating, Marriage, Divorce, Remarriage, from my good friend Jeremy Connor, the Dr. Phil of the Boot Hill. You can find DMDR on Spotify or whatever platform you choose to listen to your podcast. Well, we're going to talk about the last few weeks in the playoff run and the teams that have a legitimate shot. And JJ, what were your thoughts when you started taking a deeper look at these teams? And
well, with 5 weeks to go, you kind of know what you got. Everybody's been hit with injuries, some more than others, but it's kind of clear. Both leagues have their top 6 teams that make it to the playoffs. You kind of know who they are. Each league has a couple of hanger-oners that might have a shot, but there's a strong 6 in each that kind of stand out. Vince, each team has got its unique personality. Some teams hit the ball, some teams the pitching's phenomenal, the bullpens, and then some teams' defenses. I think when you get down to the playoffs, it's going to be bullpens, starting pitching, of course, but they make a big deal about the starting pitching. But Vince, as we've seen, the starting pitching starting to go about 5 innings, 6 innings if you're lucky, and then it becomes a bullpen game, and your defense. And I tell you what, I've got the standings. I've got the Vegas odds because they know more than we do, I guess. And then I've got all the hitting and pitching stats there. And there's some teams that's got good records, but I think a few of them have some big holes in their teams, and other teams can exploit that. We've got new blood. Vince, there's so many teams that's in it that's never won a World Series, or it's been a long time since they have. So I'm excited. 4 weeks, 6 days of baseball to go until we get to the playoffs. Even though my Cardinals will be watching from the couch, it's going to be fun watching the playoffs this year. What are you thinking about the teams involved in all the matchups?
well, the first thing I did was I eliminated the teams that I don't think have a shot. So in the National League, it's the Cardinals, Pirates, Marlins, Braves, Nationals, Diamondbacks, Giants, Rockies. They're out of it. Some of them are technically alive, but
yeah,
I don't see a snowball's chance. In the American League, the Rays, who just like 6 weeks ago were saying, "Hey man, have you seen what the Rays are doing?" Well, they fall off the face of the earth.
yes, they did.
It's Orioles, Guardians, Twins, White Sox, Rangers, Angels, and Athletics, I think, are out. So I really only focus on the 7 teams in each league that I think have a shot, and those 7 teams are vying for 6 playoff spots. So in my mind, unless there's a surprise, and baseball's always been full of surprises, but in my mind, we can see within a team or two of what the playoff picture is going to look like. We don't know the seedings yet, but it looks like the cream has risen to the top.
I agree. You want to start? We'll start with divisions. First of all, in the National League East, I mean, the 2 teams that stand out over there are the Phillies and the Mets. And going into today, the Mets, sorry, Mark, are 6 games behind the Phillies. Now, the Phillies have been hit with some pitching bugaboos, but they've got other pitchers that can fill in. But do you feel the Mets could catch the Phillies? Or they've been the last 10 games, the Phillies are 7-3 and the Mets are 6-4. What's your thoughts on that division and how it's going to end up?
My thoughts are this concerning the Phillies. I'm not quite sold on them since they lost Wheeler and Nola has been so very ineffective. Their pen has had some issues from time to time too. The defense is good. It's not great. You have like Castellanos out there with his iron glove, um,
Yes.
cosplaying a defensive player. Um, but they do have that great offense, and Schwarber and Harper are playoff studs, postseason studs. So I'm not completely writing them off, but I could see them having an early exit, or I could see them just getting hot offensively and crushing teams like 7-5 in the playoffs. But I don't think they're going to win it with pitching. The Mets, their pitching and their bullpen has been inconsistent and battled some injuries this year. Um, the defense, I think, is okay. Um, I'm not sure if they are as tight defensively as the like the Cubs and the Brewers. But their offense is good, but it's a little weak down at the bottom of the lineup, and they're going to need to kind of get hot if they're going to make a deep playoff run, and they're gonna need the pitching to step up a little bit.
Well, you said that, and I think you're dead on. And Vegas agrees with you. To win the division, they've got the Phillies 96.1% chance, and the Mets 3.9%. To get a bye, the Mets are less than 1%, and the Phillies are 52.3%. And to win the World Series, they've got the Phillies at 9.8% and the Mets at 1.8%. I think both of these teams have holes. If the Phillies could get a bye, that could really help them. And JT Realmuto, that's another guy. I don't know if he's the top catcher, but for a while he was, but he's still top tier catcher. And their young players seem to be coming back around. The third baseman and their and of course Trey Turner. He's been out a lot this year and he's back. So if they can catch fire, but the Mets went out and got a bunch of bullpen help, but so far they've been shoddy. I think it's Helsley's over there. It's just
He's
not
struggling.
done any.
Yeah.
And I think the Cardinals kind of hit him a little bit. We only used him in save situation. We didn't throw him out there a lot, and so I think it worked. We weren't going to keep him anyway, and but I love to see him do good when he's on. He's dynamic. So if they've got 4 weeks and 6 days to get their act together, but I'm with you there. I think the Phillies are going to end up winning that division. And the Mets have to be careful because the Reds are right on their tail, which brings us to the Central Division. So right now, we've talked about the Cubs and the division, but the Brewers right now 82-50, and they have the best record in baseball. They're 4-6 after being so hot. They've slowed down to about 4-6. The Cubs have caught fire. Now they're 5.5 out. They're 8-2 in their last 10, as you know, and all the Cub fans out there know. And the Reds, although they're 14 back behind the Brewers, they are just I believe it's 2.5 games behind the Mets. So, Vince, what do you think here? Can the Reds do it? They've got some young guys, young pitchers. They got to end of their bullpen's pretty good. Do you think that's a possibility? The Reds could get in there and surprise the Mets or another team?
I put it this way in my notes. I think they have a small shot at making the wild card. I think the Mets are better than them, and the Mets are more of a veteran team. I'm not going to be surprised if the Reds overtake them. I just think the Mets are going to hold on and be in the wild card. With the Reds, the rotation is good. It's great. It's kind of top heavy. The back end is hittable, and the bullpen runs hot and cold. They go through stretches where they're really hot, and then you'll notice a few games where they've given up a lot of runs out of the pen. It's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. The defense is pretty good. They do make mistakes because you're a young team. They'll throw to the wrong base. They'll play a little out of position every now and then. And when I've seen the Cubs play them, That's one of the differences I've seen. I've seen a talented team, a young talented team that is still kind of finding themselves, where the Cubs are more of a veteran team and kind of know what they're doing. Uh, the offense lacks punch, particularly at the end of the lineup. So if they do make the playoffs, I see the Reds having a quick exit, but I do think it would be a good story to have three teams from the Central, the weakest division in baseball, make the playoffs. I
That's
know that
right.
nobody wants to face Hunter Green. Nobody.
No, that guy's top is the real deal. And well, Vegas is giving the Brewers a 91.3% chance of winning the division, the Cubs 8.7, and the Reds less than 0.1%. Now, to get to the bye, the Brewers 91%, and to win the World Series, Vegas has given the Milwaukee Brewers the best odds in all the National League at 22.6. But the Cubs 8.4%, which is third best in the National League and right behind the Phillies. But these odds came out Monday. So with the season in an injury, I think the Cubs will pull ahead of the Phillies as the number 2 team. And I tell you what, Vince, if we get a National League championship and it's the Brewers and the Cubs and the fans can go back and forth, that's going to be electric for both cities. It's going to be crazy. I might try to go up there on a Saturday and just watch from the standing room only or something. That is going to be fun right there. So yeah, I'm with you. And the Brewers, they've had a few shots. They get to the playoffs a lot and lose in the first round, but this could be their year. But I'm telling you what, there's some teams out there. And the one thing about the Cubs and the Brewers that I think makes them stand out above everybody else, and you mentioned it a while ago, is their defense. There's some teams out there with some shoddy defense. And if I'm going in the playoffs, I want those 8 guys for the Brewers and the Cubs behind me. And if you're just pitch a good game, you got a much better chance of winning because they double plays, they throw to the right bases, and that's the thing. These young guys, they're just not as consistent as these 2 teams. So, man, Vince, it's going to be fun. Now, over in the other division,
Let me add a few things. The Brewers. I was talking to Brendan, and he said that McGill, their closer, he can be spotty, and he did blow a save this week. I did notice that. So if they do have an Achilles heel, it's the very back end of the rotation, which is weird because you talk about the Brewers, that was their strength for so many years.
yes.
So I'm curious in the playoffs if they do go like Peralta, Woodruff, and maybe Priestley or Priester or Quintana, and then put Mizorowski in that closer role. That's something that like the Cardinals did with Wainwright back in 06. So I see the bullpen having a little bit of weakness at the end, but I think that's easily remedied just because of the way the playoffs are done. So they could move Mizorowski into the closer role, who's got this electric stuff, and they're not going to have to worry about that third starter. You could maybe do Quintana for 3 innings, piggyback him with someone else. They have options to fill that third role if they do choose to move Mizorowski to the bullpen. I think the Brewers have a great chance to make a deep run. The offense is not great, but it's good enough with the kind of pitching that they have. And the Brewers are hands down the best managed team in baseball. And I'm not just talking about the field manager. I'm talking about all management. They have it.
They got it going on. By the way, the Cubs and the Brewers are 1 and 2 in stolen bases and bullpen efficiency. Now, the Cubs early in the year, I think you guys had some struggles. if you go from like the beginning of June to now, I think you guys are the top one. But the Brewers for the complete season have been number one, and the Cubs number two. So I mean, there is so many categories that the Cubs and the Brewers are running neck and neck in, and it's going to be it's going to be something else. That and the defense and the ballparks and the fans. Oh, Vince, this is going to be something else. The Brewers get that bye though. That's the key. Get that bye, get rested, get you everything set up, and then go from there. So, oh, they got to just hang on for 4 weeks and 6 days because here comes the Cubs, and nothing is for sure in baseball.
Yeah, in my mind, I always look at it that you you can make up a game a week.
Oh yeah,
And if we enter September 4 games thinking, okay, we're in striking distance. If it's more like 6 games, I don't see us overtaking the Brewers, but we have this week made it interesting at least.
that's right. That's right. Going getting hot at the right time. Well, in the other division, you got the Dodgers, and of course, they're the front runners and everything at the preseason pick and everything. But you got the Dodgers, who are only 1 game ahead of the Padres. And the Dodgers have been 6-4 in their last 10. You got the Padres 5-5, and then way back, you got the Diamondback and Giants. And I'm with you, Vince. Nice stories, but I don't think they're going to get in there. So, and I'm telling you, this Dodger Padre turmoil. These teams, when they get together, it's kind of electric. So, my goodness, how do you see this one playing out? There's so many stories. Vegas has the Dodgers winning the division 66.3 to the Padres 33.8%. That's the odds on the division.
It's a toss-up to me. The Dodgers, I can't keep up with their injuries. They've had so many. Their bullpen can be had. Kirby Yates hasn't been everything they expected. In fact, I think he just came off the IL. So the pitching can be had. The defense is very good. The offense is very good. Well, their offense is excellent, actually. But if they can get the pitching on track, I see them making another deep playoff run. And last year, their pitching staff was beat up, and they still won the World Series. So, what do I know?
Yeah.
As far as the Padres go, I think the pitching is playoff ready, and the bullpen is good. The Padres have a very good defensive team, and they have a very good offensive team. And if they play up to their capabilities, I think they're also capable of a deep playoff run.
You know, the one thing I see the big difference is power. The Dodgers are second in baseball in home runs, and the Padres are way back there. They only have 115 home runs to 199 home runs. The Dodgers connect more than the Padres do, although each team's star-studded. And by the way, Vegas, the Cubs have better odds of winning the World Series than the Dodgers this year. Cubs 8.4%, Dodgers 6.2%. So Vegas likes the Cubs to win it over the Dodgers this year. That's got to put a smile on your face. Don't want to put no pressure on you, but that's pretty darn cool. But I'm with you. I think the Dodgers they've put together the super team if they're halfway healthy. My gosh, but the Padres seem to play them, and they came so close to beating them last year. So back down the hatches. This could be a really good one. But I'm with you, Vince. The Dodgers, I just think, are a little too much power, and I'd love to see the Phillies, the Brewers, or the Cubs make them play an extra round. I think that would help out a lot. Not because I'm for anybody winning it over the Dodgers this year.
Me too.
Well, the American League, we've got the East, which I always find fascinating. That's a fun division. It gets the most attention. The media just loves the American League East. And right now we have the Blue Jays with a 5-game lead over the Red Sox, and the Yankees are 5.5 back. Although over the last 10 games, the Yankees are 7-3, and the Blue Jays and Red Sox are both 6-4. Vince, how do you see this one playing out?
This is what I like. the Blue Jays are a team, to use a sports term. We've been waiting for them for a few years to gel, and they've gelled. And I think when Guerrero Jr. signed his contract, the whole organization kind of calmed down. Like, okay, we've got our big stud. We don't have to worry about that anymore. He's been hitting very well, especially the second half of the season. Um, but the pitching has been very good, and they've put together a good staff, and they've just a team that I see that has kind of come together and gelled. Excuse me. The defense is good. It's not elite, but it's good, and the offense is very good. So I think they're capable of a deep playoff run. Concerning the Red Sox, they're and I'm just talking about to make the playoffs. I'm not talking about in the playoffs because then your whole rotation is going to change. But I see the Red Sox have a rotation that's a little top heavy. Crochet and Giolito are very good, and yeah, you get to the back of that rotation, they're hittable. Their defense is above average. Their offense is really good. Um, I think they can have a pretty good playoff run. Being the starting staff is going to shrink down to three starters. Um, the Yankees, I think, I don't think they're as good as the Blue Jays. I don't think they're as good as the Red Sox. And it's because of the defense is not even average. Their rotation has had injury issues the whole year. Uh, their bullpen was really in trouble, but they traded for Bednar, who has had like a renaissance in New York and pitching great, closing out games. They do have that elite offense. Judge, Stanton, Jazz Chisholm, uh, Bellinger. I mean, they can put some runs on the board. They also play in that ballpark where any left-hander can hit a home run. Um, I for the Yankees, I could see an early exit, or I could see them making a. I could see them winning the whole thing if things fall right. Um, so the Yankees are the team. I don't think they're going to catch the Blue Jays, but I do think they're going to make the playoffs. And then I'm going to kind of have a sit back and watch and see which Yankee team shows up.
Very well said. Vegas gives the Toronto Blue Jays the best odds in the American League to win the World Series, to get to the to win the World Series, 14.6%. And only the Brewers, they give better odds to winning the World Series. So, according to Vegas, Toronto and Milwaukee would be the front runners for the World Series. And Toronto has the best team batting average in baseball, 267. They don't have the pop that the Yankees do, or and they're similar to the Red Sox. One home run separates the Red Sox and Toronto in the year, but Toronto has the best team batting average, on base percentage is the third best team, and I think they've got a good pitching staff. So I'm with you, Vince. I think Toronto, although I could see the Yankees leapfrogging over the Red Sox. The Red Sox just seem like, oh, they've just been hanging in there, but the Yankees just had too much power, and so I would think Toronto, the Yankees, and then the Red Sox, with Toronto getting the bye in the first round in that one.
Let me correct something that I said earlier because I got my catchers mixed up.
Oh, sure.
I said Cal Raleigh's like a top 8 catcher. I was thinking of Alejandro Kirk of the Blue Jays.
Oh, yes.
So that's where I came up with he's about a top 8, 10 catcher defensively. And then you said, well, he won the Platinum Glove last year. I'm thinking, well, what am I thinking? Oh, Alejandro Kirk. Because they're both.
We get going with so much. We got so much baseball stuff in our heads. Hey, I said PCP the other week, so I have no proof to say anything about anybody. But yeah, we got so much baseball stuff in there, and sometimes you just let it fly. And I understand. Yeah. But yeah, Riley is something else. But Kirk is good. I like Kirk too. That dude's man, he puts a bound on the ball. He's a little squatty guy. He looks like Yogi Berra, and man, that dude can hit. Well, Central Division of the American League, you got the Tigers, and for so long they had the best record until Milwaukee caught them. But in their division, they're 78 and 55, and they really haven't had to worry about anybody behind them because the closest team is the Kansas City Royals, which has a slight chance, but really not. They're 10 and a half back, and then Cleveland, who was doing so good, and then they've just in their last 10 games are 1-9 and pretty much have fell out of it. So the Tigers just sitting there at 78 and 55 and 7-3. They've played just really good ball all year. What do you think about them having a long run in the playoffs?
I think their starters can be dominant, and I think they may be the outlier as far as the teams in the playoffs. They may go, we'll try to get our starters to go 6 to 7 innings and then turn it over to the pen. Last year, they kind of patchworked their way into the playoffs. This is a completely different Tiger team. This is a very good Tiger team. Last year, I kind of thought they kind of lucked in a little bit, but it did give them confidence. They do have that great starting staff. The bullpen's good. The defense is good, but not elite. But it's good enough to win their ball games, and especially when you have so many pitchers throwing swing and miss pitches. The offense is very good, and I think they're going to go as far as their starters take them. I think it would be a great story if they did win it all. I think it'd be cool if they played the Cubs in the World Series too.
Oh, throwback. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the Royals go, I put them in here. They still have an outside shot to make the wild card. They did a great job at the trading deadline. They became a better team. They have very good starting pitching and bullpen. Their defense up the middle is just awesome. Just awesome. But their offense is average as a whole, and they're at the bottom of the offense. There's outs to be had that are pretty easy. So if the Royals do make it, it'll likely be an early exit, but they've got their work cut out for them to make the playoffs. But they've done these late runs before and capitalize.
Oh yeah. Well, Vince, so Vegas gives the Tigers a 7.6% chance of winning the World Series. They've got them get almost 99.8% to win the division, 90.9% to get the bye. But I was looking at a lot of the statistics, and they're right there in the middle. All the playoff teams. The only thing that really stands out is ERA. They have a 3.80 team ERA, but the Cubs are 3.76. So they're kind of like eighth in playoff teams' ERAs. Strikeouts, they're pretty good, but they're right behind the Brewers and ahead of the Padres in strikeouts. But, they play a good defense. They got a lot of young guys. I don't know if that's good or bad in the playoffs, having some of your star players be young. I know they got Baez over there too, who has a lot of playoff history, but a lot of them are just young guys. And this may be a lot of their first go arounds or second through the playoffs. So I don't know if that's good or bad for a team, but the Tigers seem to be going to get a bye, and then Detroit will be lit up, and I think that'll be fun. But I just think I see teams like Toronto and the Red Sox and Yankees just being, I don't know, they just got those veterans, and they're just stacked a little bit deeper than the Tigers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. Well, the final division, we have the Astros, which have dominated that the West in the American League. But right now they only have a game and a half lead over the Seattle Mariners, who made a lot of moves. Both teams have made a lot of moves. The trading deadline. They're both 4-6 in their last 10 games, with the Mariners being a game and a half back. And then you have the Rangers, which we won't even talk about the Rangers. I'm just hoping the Rangers, for my own financial things, to do good. But Vince, we got a game and a half to go, 4 weeks, 6 days. How do you think this one's going to play out between the Astros and Mariners?
I don't like Houston as a team. I've seen them a couple of times. They played the Cubs, so I saw those games, and then I've seen a few more of their games. They are getting a little long in the tooth. The starting pitching is very good. The bullpen is average. And when you pick up Craig Kimbrell off the scrap heap and say, we're giving you a major league contract in August, that tells me they don't trust anybody in the bullpen. While they don't trust some people in the bullpen. The defense is good, but it's not elite. The offense is good, but it hasn't been what it used to be in years past because they are getting a little older. So if Houston does make it, I see an early exit for them. I just do not like this team. Nothing personal against them. I just don't look at this and say, no, I think that's a playoff team. The Mariners are a different story. I see the Mariners and I think, okay, they should be in the playoffs. One of these teams is going to win. The other one has a good shot at making the a wild card. The Mariners have that great pitching staff, starters, bullpen, everything, and the Mariners have a very good defense. Rodriguez in center field's the American League version of PCA. He's very good. The offense is good, but they play in that ballpark, which is kind of deceiving. When you see the Mariners play on the road, they're a much better offensive team because ballparks get smaller. The pitching could carry them, and I could see them doing a deep run and possibly making it to the World Series. So, of all these teams in the American League, I don't like Houston, although I think they're going to be in the playoffs. And the Royals, I just give an outside shot to. So that's my take on the American League and National League playoff. And in 6 weeks, we'll see how wrong I am.
Oh, this is going to be fun, Vince. And Vegas gives Astros 2.8% chance of winning the World Series and the Mariners 2.4. So if you feel like those teams can go all the way, put a lot of money down on them, and you'll come away with a lot there. The Vegas is picking, though, the Astros to win the division, but I don't know with Suarez, and now they got Rosarina and Naylor, and then the season the catchers have and a start rotation. That's eye catching and a lot of stats. And the Mariners steal the most bases in the American League, and there's only one behind the Cubs, and we know how good base stealing the Cubs are. So I did not know that the Mariners were that's base running's a part of it, taking that extra base, having that team speed. So I'm with you, Vince. This is going to be a great series. This is going to be a great season and a playoff action.
JJ, like I said, I got this odd packet. You've probably seen it before because you're kind of into it.
I don't think I have. I'm interested in seeing what the cards look like.
So only 5 cards in here, and then a chunk of Bazooka gum in here. So
hey.
But I'll let you go first, being for once I have a special package.
You do have special. I have I bought 2 packs of those Stadium Club 1991, and you can't beat the price. $3. That's pretty good. You might get a cool card. A lot of good photography on this set. So let me get these bad boys opened up here. See what we got. And I'll get them all turned the same way. All right, what do we got going on here? Oh, San Francisco Giant, Matt Williams. There he is, talking maybe to the umpire. I don't know.
Former All-Star.
Vince, this guy here was money. Seems like he was on a different team every year, and he led them in the playoffs. But I always, in Fantasy League, this was a great player to have back in those days. Kevin Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin Brown, man, gosh.
That heavy thinker, very hard to hit.
He was very hard to hit. Here you go, a Cub from the past. I always liked this guy. He played hard in the right way. Jerome Walt.
Yeah, rookie of the year.
He's doing calisthenics out there, Vince, right in the middle of the game. Look at that.
Yeah. He was so good he didn't have to pay attention.
Oh, yeah. Well, you might have heard of this guy. I'm going to cover his name and see if you can identify him from his picture.
Is that Bonds?
Yeah, Barry Bonds right there. He had that picture taken at Sears. It looks like that picture was taken at Sears.
Well, that was before his head got so big. So
exactly.
He did
that. His ego?
Mr. Mackey from South Park, you know.
Oh, Vince, this guy, we got another Texas Ranger here. So Don Frizzy would be proud. A nice utility man, Jeff Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a nice player. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, the one with the dirty bat, Billy Ripken. There he is, right there. It looks like it's going to hit him in the head. Billy, look out! That ball's coming right at your head. Oh, this guy played for the Cardinals and the Mariners and the Yankees. Tino Martinez.
Yeah.
There he is.
Man, his stint with the Cardinals was weird.
Yeah, I don't think he liked playing here. We're not New York City, and I'm sure anything after New York City is kind of a letdown. But anyway, and here is a guy who's on the Phillies, but I think of him as Atlanta Brave, Mr. Dale Murphy,
Oh, yeah.
WTBS. Oh yeah, loved watching him through the years. Two-time MVP, and finally, well, he's with the Mets here. Charlie O'Brien. He's sliding into second base right there. What I like about these cards too, you get like one of their rookie cards on the back right there. Oh, wait a minute. That's another card. That's Alvin Davis. There was two cards stuck together. There's Alvin Davis right there. I thought, wait a minute. Charlie O'Brien's a white guy. And there's what happened? There's Alvin Davis.
Alvin Davis was a heck of a player, too.
Yeah, rookie of the year for the first Mariner rookie of the year.
Yep.
So that's it for me, Vince, on the cards.
Okay, so you got no Hall of Famers, and I'm going to say I have no Hall of Famers. Like I said, this is 2006 Major League Baseball bubblegum cards featuring Major League's biggest stars. Bazooka, Funny, Fortune on every card. 5 cards, 1 chunk of bubblegum.
Okay.
I almost don't want to open this up.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what the heck. So I'm going to say 1 Hall of Famer.
Yeah. No wonder it was still on the shelf. You cannot open this. Okay. Wow. Well, these are different.
I'm excited. What's going on?
First of all, here's the gum.
Oh yeah, it's got a little cartoon in there. I remember those.
Yeah, but I can tell you what, this wrapper's not coming off this gum. It is fused together.
You can hammer a nail with that thing.
Yes. And it also fused to the first card.
Oh.
Okay. I'll show you the front, and then the backs are hilarious, okay?
Okay. All right.
There's Ryan Klesko.
I remember Klesko, Atlanta Brave. There he is.
And then on the back, they've bazooka-fied him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There he is with a patch on his eye. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. How cool is that?
Yes.
I got a Hall of Famer here. Shortstop for the Reds, Barry Larkin.
Oh, yes. That's a good action pitcher.
And too bad this card has bubblegum stain on it because but on the back there is Xena. I don't know
her. I like her.
There you go.
Yeah, Xena.
Right.
She's got it going on.
2 Hall of Famers. Former Indian, former White Sox, former Twin. Did he play with the Phillies? Yeah, I think he played. Jim Tomei.
Oh, yeah.
Pride of
White
Peoria.
Sox, you're right. Philadelphia.
And he's also got Xena on the back.
Oh, Xena's everywhere. Yeah.
I don't know. Another Hall of Famer.
A 3.
Yeah. 3 out of 5 cards. Wade Boggs. There with his Yankees, more known as a Red Sox, but
what a championship.
And then on the back we have Mort.
All right. He's got his legs all tangled up. Look out, Mort.
And finally we have Johnny Damon, his Royal years before he went on to Boston and New York. And
yes.
Was it Oakland first, or did he go from, I don't know. He played for Oakland at some time too. And then on the back, we have Ursula.
Ursula getting up there, getting that ball.
And then I got this. Bazooka ball rules. You have two coaches win the other cards. So this is kind of like a card game too.
Game. Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
I wish I wouldn't have got the first two, the gum stain on them, especially the Larkin one. I mean, gosh, it's pretty cool. But hey, Wade Boggs and Jim Tomei.
Palesko, I even him. Was a very good player.
Yep, yes, he was.
Ah,
Well, JJ, I hope you have a good week.
you
Good
too,
luck
sir.
with the Cardinals. Thank you for wearing that Cub hat the entire time.
Yes, I'm proud of this. Very classy with the red button on top. I like that.
The classic, yes.
Yes.
All right, well, you have a great day, and I'll see you next week.
Take care.